Three, two, one, sausage. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Razor from RazorTube coming at you with some Rust Council release date launch action. And we're going to talk about the roadmap a little bit and more news about the Rust Council edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, and the PlayStation 5. So let's get into it. We got an article from Double 11 as of recently. We're going to go through it, see what they have to say about the Rust Council edition coming out soon. And we're going to talk a little bit about the roadmap that they mentioned in the end half of the article. So it's going to be a little bit of reading. Bear with me, but it's good news. All right, let's get inside. Got to get in my crib. All right, we're okay. All right, so welcome to the channel. But anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys drop those subs and likes. Make sure you tap that little notification bell like and then I'm part of the boyfriend squad with my boy Jade Monkey, who's currently AFK. Say hello. Hey, that's him. Well, I'll try to impersonate him. Anyways, all right, let's get to the article. Drop him a sub and a like as well. All right, so March 26th, and this is written by the outstanding Pedro Silva. And this can be found on the rust.double11.com/news website. And what this is going to talk about is Rust Council Edition launch and beyond. And here, let me highlight this so you can see it. So it's a good evening, everyone. A lot of you have been asking questions about some of the features present in the Rust PC and why they are not present in our version of the game yet. Today's blog post aims to answer all of your questions and give an exclusive insider peek on what we've been working on during the last 3 years, as well as some of the challenges we had to face and overcome in order to bring this game to the console audience, which is a lot. They've been through a lot in the last 3 years. All right. So what is Rust Council Edition? Rust Council Edition is based on the PC version of the game, designed and optimized for a completely separate and unique console player experience. Rust is and forever will be the baby and brainchild of FacePunch, and we're extremely grateful to be able to take what they've done and create our own version of the game. Rust Council Edition is certainly Rust as people know it, but under the hood, where we've spent the last few years, we've created a completely different beast design for consoles and the respective players. We first started talking to FacePunch in 2016 about the idea of creating a console version of Rust and how that would work. We knew early on that the two games would need to be in separate universes, given that the PC edition can expand as it needed to and the performance would be maintained so long as people continue to upgrade their hardware, while consoles, on the other hand, have finite resources that need to be more closely managed, like, memory, stuff like that. Rust is a big, beautiful game built for PC and challenged. And the challenge to us as a developer was if we could create an experience on console that was performant for all consoles, not just next gen. Survival games have historically proven to be very challenging, and if we're going to do it, we need to do it right. That's why we got the closed beta going on right now. That's actually started in the March, so they're testing all the bugs and stuff right now as we speak. Not only because Rust is a big IP in and of itself, but also because we respect and admire the community that has grown and evolved over the years through a love of this game. Making sure this was the best version we could possibly create of Rust on console became our main focus, and we knew we'd have to take a different strategy to PC going forward. So now we're going to talk about some performance and optimization. It says performance was the team's biggest and most demanding challenge. The Steam page for Rust boasts a minimum requirement of 10 gigabytes of RAM, plus 2 to 3 gigs video memory depending on the GPU vendor, and recommends 16 for an optimal experience. Plug 4 gigs video memory, total 20 gigabytes as well. The target consoles, after taking into account operating systems and shared graphics memory, demand that we squeeze the game into just 4.5 gigs of RAM. Oof, it's rough. So you're taking all this game and you're squeezing it right in to only 4.5 gigs of RAM. In addition to the memory challenge, the CPUs of the early models of the PS4 and Xbox are comparable with those found in the 2013 MacBook Pro, which is well below the minimum requirements for Rust. Which it's a heavily resource-intensive built game. I mean, you got to have a lot to run it. To accommodate the game on these systems, some light optimizations wouldn't cut it, so the team needed to rip apart and rewrite major engine subsystems within Unity. And Unity is its own monster on its own. By the way, if you guys have no idea what that engine is, it's hard. Some of the systems we designed and refactored helped us a lot, improving the performance of the game over on consoles. Another big issue was loading time. When we first had Rust up and running on console, the initial load time took 45 minutes. Jeez, that's a giant game. To read and decompress the enormous procedural map and its assets into memory. So the procedural map is just a randomly generated map. So every time you load into Rust on a new wipe, the map and the landscape is completely different every single time and is unique only to the seed that is generated from. We implemented a whole new bootstrap system capable of loading multiple Unity scenes and asset bundles simultaneously and in a manner more suited to the mechanical hardware disks of these machines. After a lot of work, the game now loads in around 1 minute, give or take. Here we go. In order to re-engineer how the entire game worked, we started by picking a point in time of FacePunch's code base where we felt it was the safest to start building the foundations on which the console versions would be based off of. Some of the more recent additions to the game piled on the complexity of orders of magnitude, so we instead opted to focus on Rust core experience and rebuild some of the more advanced features once we had a solid base on which to build. We're very pleased with the results over the past 3 years. When we started development, we spoke, what is this? I don't know what this is. Anecdotally in seconds per frame, given the age of the hardware, but after getting the game running for the first time, it was no longer an office joke. Achieving usable frame rates in Rust Console Edition was going to be a challenge, but the team was determined to accomplish it for the objective. Today, we've been able to achieve just that, and overall, we could not be more happy with the results. We have got to a level of performance and stability that the majority of the beta testers, which I'm one of them, and all I could say is good job, 011, seem to be happy with, and I am extremely happy with it. And we are in the background striving to make it better every day. So, to piggyback off of that, just know on Rust PC they update the game monthly. I would assume that 011 is going to take the same strategy when they tackle optimization issues and things like bugs within the game or exploits. So, hopefully, for the future of the Rust Console Edition, we see great improvements, a lot of new content, and it's going to be awesome. I think this game has been awesome since 2013, and I think it's going to just blow up even more once it's fully released on the console. But anyways, at any rate, it says, what can you expect from Rust Console Edition in the future? Much like the PC version, the console editions will be updated regularly over time with existing and new content created by FacePunch as well as our own improvements. However, the way we update will be different. So that's what I was just talking about. Who knows how they'll do it? The console editions will follow their own update roadmap from launch that we believe will provide an optimal player experience while gradually introducing players to the vast amount of gameplay and content that makes Rust an incredible experience. We believe Rust is where it is today partly because FacePunch was able to test out new features and improve the game over years, fixing issues as they came up and iteratively building a better and better game. We're taking a similar approach with the console editions, expanding the game incrementally while working within tight memory restrictions, testing, getting feedback, and working with the console community to create the best possible edition of Rust, uniquely for a console audience. We look forward to sharing some of the roadmap with you once we get closer to the release of the game. So, and this is written by our boy Pedro. Shout out to Pedro. Thanks for all the information. We appreciate it. So, let's talk about it a little bit. So, apparently we'll get a roadmap before release, which will be great. Then we'll be able to kind of see exactly which way the Rust Console Edition's going, what kind of improvements they're going to make on the optimization side due to the restrictions of the console. And then we'll get to see a little bit into the bigger picture, or the broader picture rather, of what they're making for content. And maybe they'll have a similar commit list that we could follow and update you guys with in the future to,